Hello and welcome to Jensen Institute Online Photography Master Plan. This is whereby we'll get to talk about how you can be a pro when it comes to photography. Remember, these online course is brought to you by Jensen, whereby we are here to ensure that you get to understand what it takes for you to be a photographer. And by the end of this course, you will change from becoming a beginner to now a pro. My name is Brian Alusa, and today I'll be the one taking you through everything matters photography. Now, first of all, you have to understand what you're dealing with, because everyone can be a photographer. You can be out there walking and someone can just tell you, can pick your phone and take a picture of you, then they call themselves automatically photographers. But now, who is a photographer, or what is photography? Now, photography is both an art and a science that involves capturing and recording images using light. It is the process of creating still or moving images by capturing light on a photosensitive surface such as a film or digital sensor through the use of a camera. Photography has been evolving year in, year out. There was a day now whereby now films were used to store some of these images. But now the world has changed, whereby now we're using memory cards to store these images. Now that is just what photography is. Remember, it's an art and it is science. Art basically means that you have to showcase what you have, you as a photographer, to bring out the beauty of photography itself, and science comes in when you get to terms like photosensitive surfaces, or such as film or digital sensor. That is where science comes in. And remember, where there is light, basically science is there. I'll also now take you through what it takes for you to be a photographer. Remember, you cannot just wake up in the morning and decide that I'm going out to take pictures, that today I'm going to be a photographer. No, there's a lot that entails that. There's a lot in it. You have to understand that for you to be a photographer, you must have interest and passion for photography. Number one, if you don't have interest and passion, that's it. There's nothing you get out of photography. And a genuine love for photography is the foundation. Passion drives your creativity and willingness to learn and improve. Remember, it's about interest and passion for photography. You have to develop a certain affection when it comes to taking pictures. Remember, when you're passionate about something, that is when creativity comes in. That is when the bigger picture of how to take pictures comes in. Then you have to learn about photography basics, whereby now you start by understanding the fundamentals of photography, including camera operation, exposure settings, composition, and lighting. We shall get to talk about that. Then you get to get the right gear. The right gear in what sense? You have to invest in a camera that suits your interests and needs, whether it's a DSLR, mirrorless, or high-quality smartphone. Consider acquiring lenses, a tripod, and other essential accessories as well. I know that I'm mentioning things that you're wondering, what are these? But in the course of this online course, you'll get to understand what I'm really talking about. But I'm just telling you what it takes for you to be a photographer. Now, you have to also study and practice. That is what we're doing here. First of all, we are getting the first one right, whereby you have to start by studying. And you have to enroll in photography courses or workshops, which is what you're doing at the moment. You have to read books. That is what you'll do later on. Then also watch tutorials that we are going to also create as Jensen. And also you have to join photography communities to expand your knowledge and practice regular to hone your skills and experiment with different techniques and styles. Remember, you have to do what? To practice. It doesn't stop at studying. You may have the skills, but maybe you may not be able to take quality pictures. Now you have to keep on practicing for you to be a good photographer. And this is by getting to visit different workshops. Remember, different companies venture into different things, and they may want to also help photographers expose themselves and also enrich their skills by coming up with workshops. So if you get a workshop that talks about photography in your area, please head to that point. And also you have to watch tutorials. Nowadays YouTube is there, and as Jensen, we shall be creating tutorials to ensure that you also, it doesn't stop here, whereby we give you an online course and we let it run like that. No, we'll still be guiding you step by step so that you can be a good photographer, and you should also be able to join photography communities. I know that most of you are on different social media platforms. I'll major on one. That is, let's talk about Facebook. Facebook has different groups, and these groups, they entail different issues that talk about the society or whatever happens in the society, and photographers in different countries have been able to come up with these groups whereby they meet and talk about matters photography. The next thing is you have to develop a unique style. You have to discover your photographic style and vision. What kind of images do you want to create, and what stories do you want to tell through your photos? Remember, there is one major thing, that photos tell a story. People take a look at a picture, and then they get to see or interpret what that picture is all about. So you have to develop a unique style as a photographer for you to make it in this industry. The other one is you have to understand post-processing, learn how to edit and enhance your photos using softwares like Adobe Lightroom or Photoshop. I know you're wondering, which kind of softwares are these? But this is why we're here. In the course of this learning, you'll get to understand, get to see what we're talking about, and also post-processing can greatly impact the final quality of your images. Now, the next thing is master composition. Study composition techniques like the rule of thirds, leading lines, framing, asymmetry to create visual compelling images, and also explore different genres or genres. It depends with I can say that the type of school you went to. It's a kindergarten, potato or potato. So some of them call it gens, others call it genre. So it's about, you have to explore different genres. One of them is either you do portrait photography, landscape, street, wildlife, or macro to find your niche. Remember, niche is what you're strong at. We have those who are just strong at doing street photography. So you have to explore different genres so that you can be able to understand what you can be able to do. Now, the next thing is you have to build a portfolio. After we've discussed about issues to do with photography, you will have to come up with a portfolio, because creating a strong portfolio of your best work to showcase your skills and style to potential clients or employers. There's one thing you'll get to understand when you get into this field. Each time you'll be pitching some of what you've done, clients will be asking for a portfolio. Kindly send us a portfolio. A portfolio is basically what you've been able to do before. So when you're getting into this field, make sure that you'll start by doing a good portfolio for yourself. The next thing is you have to network, you have to connect with photographers, join photography clubs or organizations. The next thing is assist or second shoot. Now, if you're getting into this, into photography for the very first time, remember, life has stages. We have those that the same way a baby starts. The baby starts by crying, and then after that crawling, then after that walking, then after that running. So you cannot just, after this course, that you just get to the field and you qualify to become a photographer. Life doesn't work that way. What you have to do is you have to accept as a person that you will be able to assist experienced photographers or working as a second shooter at events. These hands-on experience can be invaluable for learning and building your reputation. The next thing is business and marketing skills. When you get into this field, you have to have business and marketing skills. If you plan to work professionally, acquire knowledge in business management, pricing, contracts, and marketing to run a successful photography business. Now, the other thing is continuous learning. Remember, the world keeps on evolving. You won't stop there. So you have to keep on learning. The next thing is patience and persistence. Now, photography often requires waiting for the right moment, just like the eagle does. It waits for the right moment to grab its next meal. And dealing with challenging conditions and handling setbacks, patience and persistence are essential qualities. Remember, your first photo may not be good, but you give up? No, you don't. You try again. The next one is feedback and critique. Now, you have to seek constructive feedback from peers and mentors of photography communities to identify areas for improvement. Now, there are two types of criticism. There is a constructive criticism, whereby now someone has seen that you've done a job and it's not good, but there's a certain way they pass the message. You should also be open to that. Then there's destructive criticism, whereby now someone will get to you based on what you've been able to do. So you should also be in the position to be able to handle certain criticism, both be it destructive or constructive criticism. The next one, you have to have an understanding of legal and ethical issues in whatever country you are, because you have to understand copyright laws, model releases, and ethical considerations related to photography to protect your work and respect the rights of others. Underline there, respect the right of others. Remember, not everyone wants their photos to be taken. So you have to understand at what time should you be able to take a photo. And now the next one, also still on the same, you have to look at plagiarism and copyright violations. Remember, never use someone else's work without proper attribution or permission. Respect the copyright of other photographers, artists, and creators. Remember, it's a field that is huge. You may meet a certain photographer who has done a very beautiful picture. Then you get attracted to it. Then you take it. Then you post it. Then you'll be bringing we can say that a lawsuit to your doorstep. So you must be able to understand. If you take someone else's pictures, you have to courtesy them. The next one is we get to talk about what a photographer should not do. Remember, we've talked about what it takes. Then now, what you should not do. One of them is harassing or aggressive behavior. Now, be cautious and respectful when interacting with subjects or the public. Avoid aggressive or intrusive behavior that could make people uncomfortable. Maybe you get to a function, then you get there, and you feel like you're entitled to taking pictures to each and every person, to everyone who is in that, we can say, hall or garden. Remember that you should not be able to do that. You should first ask for their consent. You go there and ask, would you like I take a picture of you? That is what you should be doing. Another thing is avoid misrepresenting images. That is, do not manipulate images to deceive viewers or misrepresent reality in a way that could harm the credibility of photojournalism or documentary photography. I'll give you an example of what happened. Currently, I'm in Kenya, and 2022 was the electioneering period, whereby now photographers were used to manipulate images by adding other, we can say, photos or people in the photo. So as a photographer, that will literally lower your credibility. So that is one thing you should avoid. The next one is over-editing or manipulation. While post-processing is a valuable tool, avoid excessive editing that distorts the original scene or creates unrealistic images unless it's for artistic purposes and clearly communicated as such. So over-editing is something that you should not do. Another one is interrupting events or disturbing wildlife. Maybe you go to shoot maybe in a game park or a national park. Remember that it's a home to some wildlife, so you should be very cautious. Another one is leaving a mess or damage where you go to shoot and then ignoring safety precautions. Now, prioritize safety when shooting in hazardous environments or situations, whereby don't put yourself or others at risk for the sake of a photograph. Remember, safety comes first. Your health comes first. The health of other people comes first. So you have to put that in place when it comes to now taking pictures, whereby now you should never ignore safety precautions. The next thing is inadequate consent for model photography. Now, if photographing people, ensure they understand how the photos will be used and obtain proper model releases when needed, especially if the images will be used for commercial purposes. As a photographer, remember that you cannot just wake up each single day and decide that I'm going to post a certain model, I'm going to post a certain image. First of all, you have to ask for permission, especially if you're doing fashion photography. You have to ask for permission for the people you literally shooting. The next one is never neglect technical maintenance. You have to keep on cleaning your camera equipment to prevent malfunctions and ensure the best possible image quality. And this is a problem that has been affecting a lot of photographers, that you stay with a camera for almost, we can say, 2 years without getting it checked. And that has a problem, a negative impact when it comes to taking pictures. So I can advise that if you have your own gear, after every 6 months, let it be checked out to an authorized dealer. If you're using Canon, Nikon, others call it Nikon. If you're using Sony or if you're using Panasonic, you can be able to just look for authorized dealers in your region for them to be able to check issues to do with your camera. Now you're getting into this field. I just tell you some of the jobs you can be able to get before we get to the main thing of what photography is all about. Now, you can be a portrait photographer who specializes in taking portraits of individuals, families, and groups. Often works in photography studios, outdoor settings, or on location for events like weddings and graduations. You can also be a wedding photographer who now captures moments and emotions during weddings and related events. This is a photographer who only focuses on taking pictures during weddings, and also requires excellent skills in candid and posed photography. We shall get to talk about that also as we continue with the course itself. You can also be a commercial photographer, whereby now these creates images for advertising, marketing, and promotional purposes. May work on product photography, fashion shoots, corporate headshots, and more. They can also be a fashion photographer, whereby now you focus on photographing clothing, accessories, and models for fashion magazines, brands, and designers. Often collaborates with makeup artists, stylists, and models to create visually stunning images. You can also be an event photographer, I've just said, covering a wide range of events, including conferences, trade shows, concerts, and sports events. Remember, you can choose a field. As I keep on mentioning them, just as we get to understand it, just pick a field that you feel that you can be comfortable with. Then the next one, you can be a photojournalist, whereby now you can be documenting news stories, current events, and human interest stories through compelling photographs. Works for newspapers, magazines, online publications, and news agencies. And I'm sure you've been able to take a look at different newspapers. I cannot mention them because of copyright. You've seen, if you get a newspaper, each newspaper has to have a photo. So those who take pictures for newspapers or magazines are called photojournalists. And we also have travel photographers. If you are a travel enthusiast, you like traveling and exploring and getting to meet new people, getting to interact with new people, then this is a field that may interest you, whereby now you travel to different locations, both domestic and international, to capture the beauty and culture of various places. That is one thing I also do. I like traveling from one region to the other to just see how different people interact, to take a look at cultures. And I'm very foodie. As food is everything. I have to taste it. So I get to every region and before I get to anything, hey guys, what do you take on this side? Before even we get to do the photography business. So if you like traveling, you can basically be a full travel photographer. You can be working with certain agencies who literally deal with traveling. You can also be a wildlife and nature photographer. Remember, they're different. There are those who travel, then there are those who do wildlife and nature. They just love the wild. They love just seeing lions and other related animals. You can also be that. You can be a sports photographer who captures action shots and moments during sporting events, and requires a fast-paced shooting style. We shall get to talk about that. You've seen them in stadiums. You've seen them during safari rally competitions. And if you're a Kenyan, you've been able to see that, what happens in Vasha, that is Naivasha. And also, you can also be an interior photographer, whereby you deal with matters to do interior buildings, designs for real estate, architects and interior designs, focusing on showcasing the, we can say that the beauty of spaces. Maybe you're just into that. You get to see how beautiful homes look like, then you feel like you want to photograph that. You can also be a fine art photographer. You can see that there's a lot when it comes to photography. You just have to pick a field that you feel like you're comfortable with. Then there's documentary photographer, tells stories through a series of photographs, often focusing on social issues, cultural phenomena, and personal narratives. Maybe you like telling stories of other people. Maybe you like changing lives of other people. This is where you can always base. Then there's scientific and medical photography, and some people may see this as a hard one, but it's one of the jobs that do sell. You get into theater rooms, you take pictures of the operation as it goes on. You take pictures of how doctors are doing whatever is going on. You take pictures of people who are having different, we can say that, health conditions. And also now we have underwater photographer. You just love swimming or getting underwater. You specialize in capturing images beneath the water surface, such as marine life, underwater landscapes, and scuba divers. We also have a drone photographer. This goes hand in hand with drone videography rather. You can also use drones to capture aerial photography and videography for various purposes, including real estate, landscape, and surveying. Then you can be a freelance photographer. Maybe you get into this, you became a profession, you were employed, then you feel like Monday to Friday, I'm at my station. What do I do on Saturdays and Sundays? This is where you come in now. You operate independent and you always contracted, working on projects working on a project by project basis for clients across different photography niches. Now, a freelance photographer will be able to capture all of this. He will be doing documentaries, he will be doing fine art, he will be doing portraits, he will be doing wedding, he will be doing all these niches we've been able to talk about. Now, the pros of being a photographer. What will it do to you as a person, to you as that guy or that lady who's getting into photography? First of all, for creative expression, because photography allows you to express your creativity and artistic vision through images. You can convey emotions, tell stories, and capture the beauty of the world in your unique way. So remember, it expounds your creativity. It gives you a platform to express what you can be able to do as a person. And also capturing moments, whereby now you as a photographer, you have a privilege of freezing moments in time. And remember, a moment only happens once, we can say in a microsecond. So as a photographer, you've been given the power to freeze that moment and store it for future use. It can be a smile, it can be tears, it can be laughter. You can create lasting memories for people who are around you and for yourself as a photographer. It also helps you to explore and discover, because photography encourages exploration and deeper connection with the world. It motivates you to seek out new places, cultures, experiences to document and share. The next one is personal growth as a person, because photography challenges you to continually improve your skills, learn new techniques, and adapt to different situations. It fosters personal growth and a sense of accomplishment, whereby now you as a person, you really want to grow. You get? So photography gives you that opportunity. Let's say that you're getting into a field then you're into a certain spot, then you'll be given a field to train into. That is what photography does. It gives you an opportunity for you to grow as a person in terms of what you do. It also helps in sharing and communication. It is the powerful tool of communication. It allows you to convey messages, raise awareness, and inspire others through visual storying. Now you can see that when you are a photographer, you tell a story. Whereby now you take a picture in the first second, you take another one in the second one, but you see that these photos tell different stories. And I can just talk about a story of the one that happened in Sudan, whereby a photographer took a picture of a young child who was starving and shared it to the world. And the world came through to help this child. So that is what photography does. It helps you to share and communicate. It connects with people. You as a photographer, you'll get to connect with people. Whether you're a portrait photographer or a photojournalist, you'll always, or a freelancer, you'll always connect with people. And also issues to do with versatility. It offers a wide range of genres and styles to explore. So you won't be stuck in one environment. You'll get to explore different environs. The next one is business opportunities. Now, if you're money-oriented, getting into these to boost your career or also to have make a living out of it, then you can be able to make money from this. You can be covering weddings, you can be doing commercial, fashion, and much more. So something else, it's flexible, and it's a flexible schedule. Whereby now, if you're a freelance photographer, you will often enjoy the flexibility of setting your own schedules and choosing your own projects, allowing for work-life balance and the pursuit of other interests. Maybe you're doing photography, maybe as part-time, there's something else you do, or you're into photography, but there are other things you need to do in life. So photography gives you an opportunity to come up with a working plan, whereby Monday, Tuesday, I'll be doing shoots. Wednesday, Thursday, I'll be doing something else, and Friday, I'll be going out. Maybe those who are into, we can say that love music, you can be doing something like that. And also technical and artistic skills. Photography combines technical and artistic elements. You can master the technical aspects of camera operation and post-processing. Technical is all about knowing how to operate, knowing how to set up, knowing how to control these, knowing how to take pictures. So it builds you. And also community and networking makes you connect with so many people in the community. And also it is therapeutic. It has therapeutic benefits, whereby now many people find photography to be a therapeutic and stress-relieving activity. It encourages mindfulness, observation, and a deeper appreciation for the present moment. So it can help you. Maybe you're going through a tough time and you're into taking pictures. The moment you just get out and start taking pictures, you forget about your troubles. So you can say that it's another way of healing or getting to cure your mental issues. So photography helps you to have a balance when it comes to life itself, and also recognition and awards. You can be recognized if you're doing exemptional photography, which can lead to you being recognized, and exhibitions allowing you to showcase your talent and reach a broader audience, and also personal satisfaction.